आचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्रीमद हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर गोस्वामी महाराज श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। ब्रजभूमि वृंदावन धाम की जय। नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की जय। पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। गंगा मैया यमुना मैया की जय। भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय। सामवेद गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। पतित पावन हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। श्री श्री रुक्मिणी द्वारकाधीश की जय। श्री श्री रुक्मिणी द्वारकानाथ की जय। श्री श्री गौर निताय की जय। श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी की जय। शील प्रभुपाद की जय। शील प्रभुपाद ट्रांसडेंटल बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे। All glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories, all glories, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जायामुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतीरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। Reading from Canto 3, Chapter 2, Text 18. को वा अमुष्याङ्घ्रि सरोजरेणुं को वामुष् विस्मर्तुमीशीतपुमान् विजिघ्नन् यो विस्फुटद्भ्रुविटपेन भूमे भारं कृतान्तेन तिरश्चकार। को वाम् अमुष्याङ्घ्रि सरोजरेणुं विस्मर्तुमीशीत पुमान् विजिघ्नन् यो विस्फुरद्भ्रुविटपेन भूमे भारं कृतान्तेन तिरश्चकार। को वा अमुष्याङ्घ्रि सरोजरेणुं विस्मर्तुमीशीत पुमान् विजिघ्नन् यो विस्फुरद्भ्रुविटपेन भूमे भारं कृतान्तेन तिरश्चकार। को वानुष्याङ्घ्रि सरोजरेणुं विस्मर्तुमीशीतपुमान् विस्फुरतु विटपेन भूमे भारं कृतान्तेन तिरश्चकार को वां सङ्घ्रिसरोजरेणुं विस्मर्तुमीशितपुमान् विजघ्नान् यो विस्फुरद्भ्रूवितपेन भूमेर् को वामुष्याङ्घ्रिसरोजरेणुं विस्मर्तुमीशितपुमान् विजघ्रन् यो विस्फुरद्भ्रूविटपेन भूमेर् भारं कृतान्तेन तिरश्चकार वैष्णवी को वामुष्याङ्घ्रिसरोजरेणुं विस्मर्तुमीशितपुमान् विजिघ्रन् यो विस्फुरद्भूर्विटपेन भूमेर् भारं कृतान्तेन तिरश्चकार कः who else va either amushya the lords angry feet saroj renum dust of the lotus vismrutam to forget ishita may be able puman person vijighan smelling ya one who visfurat expanding bhru vitapena by the leaves of the eyebrows bhaumeh of the earth bharam burden kruta antena by death blows tirashchakara executed. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation: who after smelling the dust of his lotus feet even once could ever forget it? Simply by expanding the leaves of his eyebrows, Krishna has given the death blow to those who were burdening the earth. Purport: Lord Krishna cannot be accepted as one of the human beings, even though he played the role of an obedient son. His actions were so extraordinary that by simple raising of his eyebrows, he could deliver death blows to those who were burdening the earth. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalaakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupah Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरम्। Hare Krishna. Seek blessings of all devotees so that I can speak something glorifying Lord for all of your pleasure and for my purification. So today, try to make some small presentation. We see that Vidura is asking Uddhava about Krishna, and Uddhava has started replying in this chapter. So, till now, initially Uddhava goes in trance and then he starts speaking. So, initially he speaks a little bit of philosophy, but now from last couple of verses, he starts remembering Krishna's pastimes from his childhood. Because devotees, they don't generally like to discuss Krishna's disappearance pastimes. So in this verse, Uddhava is remembering Krishna's and his dust of his lotus feet, and how he gave death blows to those who were burdening the earth. So he's basically remembering the pastime of Kurukshetra. So in today's discussion, next slide please. We'll discuss, next slide. Yeah. So we'll discuss glories of Krishna's lotus feet, and then glories of Krishna's glance. Because these were the 2 points Prabhupada is mentioning in translation and purport. So first about Krishna's lotus feet, we'll see how it is a reservoir of all sweetness. It is contradictory in the sense that it is softer than butter, but it's hard than thunderbolt. We'll discuss why devotees are always behind the lotus feet of Krishna. And then we'll see that even Lord wants to see his lotus feet. Why? And then we'll see the details of Krishna's lotus feet. This is about lotus feet, and then we'll discuss about glance. So first we'll start with Krishna's glance, So again, Krishna, in the form of Mahavishnu, when he glances over the material nature, it agitates it. And all the jivas, basically, they start forming the shape, and the whole nature starts building up. So this is the power of, Krishna's glance. Also, Krishna's glance has, again, we see in the pastime where the cowherd boys and calves, they drank the water of Yamuna, which was poisoned by Kaliya. Everybody was practically dead. But Krishna just glanced on these, these boys and cows, and everybody came back to life. Same thing we see that when they were devoured by the forest fire, Krishna again, just by his glance, he brought everybody back to life. So Krishna's glance is actually, in that sense, is giving life, right? But in this purport, saying that Krishna has given death blow to those who are burdening the earth simply by expanding the leaves of his eyebrows, Devotees are very poetic describing, So, it is said that in Vaikuntha there is no dust. But the Lakshmis, they are trying to mop the floor and sweep it. Why? Just to get one glance of Lord Narayana. So, we see that Lord's glance, though it is spiritually nourishing, it can even act as a thunderbolt. And we saw that in the Kurukshetra battle, it is said that Krishna, just by glancing on the opposing parties, they were kind of dead there itself actually. What Arjuna did was, details, So, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Nimitta matrena bhava savya sachin, right? That Arjuna, you just be the cause, nimitta. Why? Krishna had already killed them, simply by his raising of the eyebrow. We will try this. Can we raise our eyebrow? What happened? Nobody even noticed, right? But when Krishna does the same thing, what happens? The demons, they die. And then the following verses are details of couple of those pastimes. So this is about Krishna. But for devotees, it is very soothing. Krishna meant, it is said when we come to take darshan of the deities, it's not we see the Lord. It is Lord sees us, and that nourishes our devotional service. So that's the power of Krishna's, glance. And again we know Angani yasya sakalendriya vrittimanti. Krishna can do anything with his any senses. So not very difficult to understand that he can kill also with just his eyes. So this is about Krishna's glance. Now we'll see the glories of Krishna's lotus feet, because it's like the first part of the purport. It says, who after smelling the dust of his lotus feet even once could ever forget it. And there are many prayers of devotees, many prayers of great acharyas in Bhagavatam. They describe the glories about Krishna's lotus feet. Can we go next slide? Yeah, so this is from Bhagavatam. Navai janojastu katha Shravajena mukunda sevve anavyadanga smartum smaran mukundangri upaguhamanam punar viham ichchena rasagraho janaha. My dear Vyasa, even though a devotee of Lord Krishna sometimes falls down somehow or other, he certainly does not undergo material existence like others, fruity workers, etc. Because a person who has once relished the taste of the lotus feet of the Lord can do nothing but remember that ecstasy again and again. So it says that once somebody develops taste for lotus feet of Krishna, they cannot but remember Krishna. Vikretu kama kila Gopa kanya murari padarpita chitta vritte dadhyodakam moha vashadavochad Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. The gopis, they are always thinking about Krishna's lotus feet. And they went to sell the butter and yogurt in the markets of Mathura. So when we go to sell something, we say, right, commodity for sale. So instead of calling out that butter for sale, yogurt for sale, what they said? Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. So this is what happens, that he cannot but remember the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. Next slide. Athapite deva padambujadvai prasadaleshanugruhita evahi jananti tattvam bhagavan mahimno Nachanya ekopi chiram vichinvan. My Lord, if one is favored by even a slight trace of the mercy of the lotus, your lotus feet, he can understand the greatness of your personality. But those who speculate to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead are unable to know you, even though they continue to study the Vedas for many years. This again shows that unless we are favored by the dust of the lotus feet of the Lord, we cannot understand Krishna, however we speculate for how many days. So this is and there are so many quotations about the glories of this lotus feet. So the question comes then, why these devotees are behind this lotus feet, right? Why always lotus feet, lotus feet? In Sri Sampradaya, there has been one great acharya. His name was Parashar Bhatta. We know our one of six Goswamis, Gopal Bhatta Goswami. So he was in that lineage. So Parashar Bhatta once was sitting, and then one of his disciples, he came and he said that, I saw a wonderful thing. He said, what? He said, I was going through forest and I saw one hunter. He was about to kill one rabbit. He said, okay. But then what happened, that this rabbit, it came and he started, circumambulating the feet of this hunter. And then this hunter did not kill him. He just, let the rabbit go. So by hearing this Parashar Bhatta, he goes into trance. He becomes unconscious. So his disciples, they were not knowing, what's happening. So after some time, he brings to external consciousness. So they ask, why did you faint? Why did you go into trance? So he says, a cruel hunter, simply this rabbit did an act of surrender to his feet, and he did not kill. So what to speak of Lord Krishna, who is granting all protection if we just try to become his devotee? Will he not protect us? So thinking the merciful nature of Lord, I went into trance. And now just a couple of verses ahead we'll hear that beautiful verse, Aho Bakiyam Stankalakutam, same thing. So Krishna's personality, even the lotus feet, they are contradictory, right? The gopis, they used to feel that, even the softest part of their body will hurt Krishna's lotus feet. But for Kaliya, it was the same feet were acting as a thunderbolt. So this contradiction, apparent contradiction, is actually the kind of Krishna, the sweetness of it. It shows actually Krishna's sweetness. He just finds a reason to deliver. In the demons, he will find some trace, Uddhava will remember that Putana, though she came to kill Krishna, Krishna found some good quality and that was an excuse. Same way, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the reason why he took sannyas was, he said, as a sannyasi, it is a custom that people will bow down to me, and that is enough excuse for me to give them love of Godhead. So this is the, transcendental merciful nature of Krishna. So therefore, the devotees, knowing this very well, they are behind, always Krishna's, lotus feet, right? It's also said that a person bowing down is a sign of a humility. So when Krishna sees that one is humble, it naturally attracts his mercy. Trunadapi sunichena taroriva sahishnuna amani namanadhena kirtaniya sadahari, right? Unless we are more humble than blade of grass and more tolerant than a tree, in that state of mind only, we can chant the holy name of Lord constantly, right? So, devotees are behind Lord's feet because that's the way they show their submissiveness, their surrender, their humility to Lord. So that's why they're always, behind, Lord, be at my lotus feet. And then Krishna also wonders, what is in my lotus feet that all these devotees are always, behind it. So what Krishna does? He wanted to test, is there any sweetness in it? But if an elder tries to put his toe in his mouth, it will look little odd, right? So what Krishna does? He becomes a baby, and he takes his lotus feet and starts sucking it to see what taste it has, and why these devotees are always behind his lotus feet. Kararavindena padaravindam mukharavindena viniveshayantam vatasya patrasya puteshayanam balamukundam manasa smarami. So I think it's Markandeya Rishi, right? If I remember correctly. He is praying that Kararavindena, his lotus-like hand, are holding Padaravindam, lotus-like feet. What they are doing? Mukharavindena Viniveshayantam. He is sucking his toe. And how he is doing? He is laying on the leaf of a banyan tree to that Bala Mukundam, to that, beautiful Mukunda. Manasasmarami, I always remember. So Krishna's lotus feet are so sweet that even he wants to taste it. So then what's there in the lotus feet? So next slide, please. These are Krishna's lotus feet. So it has 19 symbols. This is a nice verse by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Can we go to next slide? Okay, let me read it. So this Chandrardha Kalasha Trikona Dhanushe Khah Gopada Proshtikam Shankham Swasya Pade Tada Kshinapade Konashtakam Swastikam Chakram Chatraya Vankusham Dhvajapavi Jamburdhva Rekham Bhujam Bivrannama Harim Unavismati Mahalakshmya Architangrim Bhaje. I worship Lord Krishna, Lord Hari, Sri Krishna, whose feet are endowed with 19 great opulences. On the left foot, the half moon, water pot, triangle, bow, sky, cow's hoof print, fish, conch, and on the right foot, 8-pointed star, swastika, wheel, parasol, barley corn, elephant god, flag, thunderbolt, jambu fruit, urdhva rekha, and lotus. So these are the 19 symbols on lotus feet of Krishna. Next slide, please. So, so let's try to meditate on one by one. Let's see how much we can finish. So the first half moon, right? Chandraardham. So this, by the way, this is like, details, all these details about each symbol. This is from one of the BTJ article. So all credit to that devotee. So this mark symbolizes how lotus feet provides desired objective of devotees. So the moon rays are compared like they are very cooling, right? So same way, Krishna's lotus feet, they extinguish the threefold material miseries. And even Lord Shiva, he is holding Ardha Chandra, was just like, symbol on Krishna's lotus feet. So also it indicates that Lord's toenails appear like 10 splendorous full moons. So therefore the real moon has shriveled up in shame and appeared in the half form. So I think it was Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur or some Acharya, please correct me, who wanted to know that Krishna's transcendental body is compared of 24 and a half moons, right? So he could figure out only 24, and he was not able to understand. So he said Acharyas cannot be wrong because that was in the commentary. So he decided I'll fast, because I don't know, how to understand. And then I think Radharani comes and she tells how Krishna's transcendental body is compared of 24 and a half moons. So in that, the 10 full moons, the Krishna's toenails, they are compared to 10 full moons. So the next one, pitcher or kalasha. So pitcher is, we put water. So this symbol indicates that Krishna's lotus feet is holding all the nectar that extinguishes the blazing threefold miseries for all separated devotees. This also symbol shows that no inauspiciousness can come near devotees. Rather, the feet bring ripple of happiness emanating from divine auspiciousness. So this is second. So first half moon, second is kalasha, pitcher, water pot. Then third one is triangle, that is trikon. We are discussing left side, left lotus feet. So this triangle indicates that a devotee who has taken shelter of Krishna's lotus feet, he becomes free from the three modes of material nature. It also indicates that Krishna is the shelter for demigods, humans, animals, everybody. It also indicates that how Bali Maharaj, with his 3 feet, he conquered all planetary systems. And it also indicates that a devotee can easily obtain bhakti, jnana and vairagya. This also says that Krishna never goes out of Vrindavan, Mathura and Dwarka, that triangle. So this is the third one, that Krishna's. Then the fourth one is bow, that is Dhanushi, bow. So this reveals that those who take shelter of Krishna's lotus feet will perpetually free from all worries and difficulties. It also shows that who are stupefied in the material world remains motionless like a target and do not come to Krishna's feet, whereas those whose ultimate goal is to remain, for the devotees, the ultimate goal is to remain at the lotus feet. So this is like one pointed goal and never go back to material world. The mind of devotee meets the target of the lotus feet, then prema, love of Godhead, condensed as a result and overflows as the tears showing from their eyes. So devotee's mind is targeting Krishna's lotus feet. So that is the bow. Then sky, the next one is sky, or that is called as kham mano buddhi revacha, right? So the kham is sky. So this indicates that lotus feet are all pervading throughout the entire creation. Then next one is goshpadaha, that means cow's hoof. So this says that one who has taken shelter of Krishna's lotus feet, the great ocean, material ocean, becomes like a water contained in the hoof print of a calf. That verse is there, right? Padam padam yadvipadam natesha. Yeah, samashitaye pada pallava plavam mahat padam punyeshu murare bhavam buddhir vatsa padam param padam yadvipadam natesham. So that's vatsa pada, cow feet. Then next one is fish. Proshtita kaha means fish. So this shows that fish cannot live without water. So similarly, devotee cannot live without the lotus feet of Krishna. Then the next one is conch. So this mark indicates that those who take shelter of the lotus feet are always rescued from all sort of distress. So just during Aarti we use conch to put water, and it is offered directly after the ghee lamp. Similarly, the lotus feet holds transcendental water that smoothes Krishna's devotees from the blazing fire of material existence. It also proclaims victory. Bhagavad Gita, first chapter, right? Prabhupada writes in purport, the blowing of conch has indicated already that Pandavas are going to be victorious. Then move to the right lotus feet. 8-pointed star. Konashtakam. So this indicates that who take shelter of Krishna's lotus feet are protected in all 8 directions. It also proves that there is nothing in the 8 direction that a devotee cannot obtain. A devotee can easily obtain 8 mystic perfections. This is that meaning. The next one is Swastikam. It indicates again that everything becomes auspicious for a devotee who take shelter of Krishna's lotus feet. Then the next one is, umbrella. Chakra. Yeah. Wheel. Yeah. Chakra we just said here, that this chakra. Then chhatra, umbrella. So this indicates that one who takes shelter of lotus feet are shielded from the incessant rainfall of material miseries. It's like chhata, umbrella. Then there is barley corn. It indicates that devotees receive all enjoyable opulences by serving their lotus feet. Also means that once one finds shelter of lotus feet of Lord, the devotee's former journey through many births and deaths is actually very tiny, just like a single grain of barley. It also indicates that as the barley grains are the sustenance of life, similarly, Krishna's lotus feet are the nourishment for all the souls. Then the next symbol is elephant goad. So, Ankusha, yeah. So it says that this indicates that meditation on the lotus feet brings the elephants of devotees' mind under control and keep them on right path. So elephant very difficult to control, same way mind very difficult to control, but the Ankusha is what? Krishna's lotus feet. So then the flag, Dhwaja. Yeah. It announces that the devotee meditating on the feet, they give security and safe protection from all sort of fear. We have that Vaishnava song, right? Ekona bujina Prabhu, Tomara Charana, Ashoka Bhayamruta, Purna Sarvakhana. So Krishna's lotus feet, they give protection from all fear. Then next one is thunderbolt. So this reveals that meditation on the lotus feet smashes to pieces the mountain of devotees' karmic reactions of past sins. So like a thunderbolt smashes the mountain into pieces, Krishna's lotus feet smashes all the sinful reactions. Whoever holds onto the feet become exalted as Lord Indra, Then the next one is Jambu fruit. So it says that residents of Jambu Dvipa, their only object of worship is Krishna's lotus feet. Then there is a Urdhva Rekha, that means a upcurving line. This signifies that the devotee who cling to the lotus feet of Krishna, as if holding on a lifeline, will be transported to the higher realms. Somebody is falling in a river or in a ditch. What they do, they send a rope. So that person has to catch the rope so that it is pulled. So same way, devotees are catching this line on Krishna's lotus feet. So they'll not be, become captive in the small egg-like material universe. They'll be pulled out from there. So, and then the last one is lotus. So it signifies that as lotus grows out of water, similarly, those whose eyes swell with the tears upon holding the divine lotus feet to their heart receives the highest benefit. Prema Anjuna Charita Bhakti Vilochanena Santas Sadaiva Hridayeshu Vilokayanti. So this also shows that goddess of fortune Lakshmi Devi always recite at his feet, rendering humble service. These feet are so soft that they can only be compared to lotus petal, because the lotus petals are, very soft, right? Rather, it is said that all these similes, they are given so that we understand in our perception how it looks. But actually Krishna's lotus feet are more softer than even the petals, So these are like, the the symbols on Krishna's lotus feet, which makes him so attractive. So we'll end with one prayer. That's Prabhupada's favorite also. Krishna tvadiya pada pankaja panjarantam adyaiva me vishatu manasa raja hamsa prana prayana samaye kapavata pitte kantavarodhana vidau smaranam kutaste. So King Kulashekar is praying that, O Lord, please let me leave my body immediately, because for now my mind is tangled in your lotus feet, as a swan tangles his neck in the stems of the lotus. So to summarize, we discussed that how Krishna's glance, it is if we can go back on that first slide. Yeah. So it is both it brings life, it gives life. At the same time, it can give death blows to the demons. And then we saw that Krishna's lotus feet, how it is reservoir of all sweetness, how it is contradictory, it is softer than butter but harder than thunderbolt. We saw that why devotees are behind the lotus feet, because that's the sign of humility, and Krishna really likes that. And then we saw that even the Lord wants to taste what is in his lotus feet, so therefore he becomes a baby. And then we saw the details about Krishna's lotus feet, 19 symbols in each one of them. So we stop here. Any questions, comments? Yes, bro.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, bro.
So this is kind of, can you hear me? This is kind of like indirectly related. It's a question, because I was just thinking when on the right foot it says jamba fruit, and I remember in America there's this shop called Jamba Juice,
Yeah.
where they serve juice, and Jamba Dweep is famous for having big, large fruits.
Mm-hmm.
So I was wondering if that's where they got their name from.
At least we have a good excuse that whenever we see the Jamba juice shop, we can remember Krishna's lotus feet has Jamba fruit. Yeah, yes, bro. Yeah, yeah.
And when you order from Jamba Juice, they give you quite big glasses.
Yeah. Yes, yeah. Actually, it's very difficult to forget Krishna. There are even small things we can remember Krishna so easily. Yeah. So, okay. Anything else? Okay. Stop here. Okay. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All glories to Lord Shri Krishna's lotus feet ki jai.